Hello everybody, my name is Gator and welcome back to my final starter Pokemon tier list. This tier list will be looking over the final evolutions, the big dogs, the big fellas. These are the really cool Pokemon that, well, when they start out little, but they have so much potential, and this is the potential that they grow into, and there are a lot, and I mean a lot of really good Pokemon on this list. So if you end up enjoying today's video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Who are your favorite starter Pokemon? How would you rank them in a tier list? And do you think my tier list is absolute garbage? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's up to my own personal preference. It's up to your own personal preference. But with that being said, let's get right into it, starting off with the Kanto region. And we're starting off with a dog, Venusaur. Venusaur is so good. And I mean, this entire line, I think every single one of them was in that A tier dog mentality, which, by the way, I changed up the B tier again. Instead of having a friend, we're having some big fellas for the B tier. But yes, Venusaur, absolute A tier material. It's a dog. Venusaur is such a good design. He's just such a cool Pokemon. Great to use. Absolutely love him. Mega Evolution, fantastic. Even the Gigantamax form, really cool. Love Venusaur. Up next is Charizard. Charizard, even though I'm in like the... I'm gonna put him in a dog. Put him in the dog tier list for now. He might go down to the big fellas. So I'm kind of in that majority that thinks Charizard's a little overhyped. With that being said, I still like Charizard a lot. Charizard's really cool. I mean, it's just a dragon who breathes fire. Like, what's there not to like? Plus, he gets the two mega evolutions because he's that cool, you know. I mean, Charizard X, super cool. I love Charizard Y too. Gigantamax form is super cool. One of the best shinies in the entire game. Charizard is... I think he's got that dog mentality. Regardless of how much I think he's overhyped, there's a reason why he's overhyped. He has one of the best designs in Pokemon, objectively speaking. Maybe not my favorite, but like... I mean, it's just... You can't go wrong with a Charizard. Charizard's amazing. A tier material. Up next is my favorite starter in the entire franchise, Blastoise. Blastoise is just, he's the coolest. I mean, my first playthrough of Fire Red, which I used a Charizard. Second playthrough of Fire Red, I used a Blastoise and absolutely loved using it. Love his moveset. I thought he was an absolute dog, but not only a dog, he is elite. He's my favorite. Super great design. I'm also a big fan of turtles. Turtles are cool. Plus, he has just two cannons just coming jetting out of his little shell. Just boom, 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 boom. I thought he was super cool. I still think he's super cool. I love Blastoise. Blastoise is great. I like Blastoise. Kanto region, final evolutions, absolutely phenomenal. I think Kanto region, objectively speaking, probably has the best designed and just best starter Pokemon from first, middle, and final evolution. There's just no going wrong with the Kanto region. They absolutely destroyed it. Up next is the Johto region, and Meganium is, for now, it might be good. I feel bad because I do kind of like Meganium, but it might be going down to it's fine. But for now, it's a big fella. It's a big fella because I want to see how the rest of this list shakes out. But Meganium's okay. I like the design of Meganium. I don't really like using a Meganium. That's the problem, is that anytime I've ever played Heart Gold, Soul Silver with a Meganium, I've never really... Bayleaf is fine. I enjoy using Bayleaf for that part of the game, but Meganium just... It always feels like it struggles. It lags behind the rest of the team and doesn't quite carry its weight. But that's okay, because I think the design really makes up for it, because I like Meganium's design. I think Meganium is really cool. Not as cool as Bayleaf, but really cool. I like... Meganium's cool. Typhlosion, though. Typhlosion's got that dog material. I love Typhlosion. Typhlosion, I think, is the best of the Johto starters. I mean, Typhlosion is amazing. Sorry, I got a little distracted because this man should probably be up here. But yeah, Typhlosion is great. I love Typhlosion. In the movie Eruption, granted, it gets it way later on, but I love the fact that it gets Eruption. I think it has a cool design. I will say, I think 3D absolutely destroyed Typhlosion's value. I don't like the 3D design of Typhlosion. It's not that great. But the sprite version of Typhlosion is so cool getting to use that in Heart Gold and Soul Silver was so much fun. I love Typhlosion. Typhlosion's great. Up next for Alligator. I don't know what he's doing down there at the way bottom, but he's a big fella. I like for Alligator. I mean, he's cool. Like, he's pretty chill. I like for Alligator more than I like the Game. So, getting him at level 30, I think, is so cool. I think he's the earliest Final Evolution starter you can get, I want to say. And if that is actually true, I think that's really cool. The fact that he gets Ice Fang is super great. I love using him, Ice Fang, Dragon Dance. It's like the only way you can beat Lance if you have him or Gyarados. I mean, we all know Lance is a cheater. He works for Team Rocket. If you didn't know, he's a Team Rocket enthusiast. He's just trying to cover up by just defeating the Mahogany Town base. Yeah, he's just covering his tracks. There's a reason why he has under-leveled Dragonites. It's because he forced his Pokemon to evolve, just like Team Rocket was doing the Lake Rage. But with that being said, we're getting off on a tangent. For Alligator, he's dope. He's a big unit. He's a big fella. I love him. Love the design. He's fun to use. Great Pokemon. Johto region, pretty solid. Pretty solid. All things considered, I think the Final Evolutions are pretty solid. Up next is the Hoenn region, and we're starting off with, I think, love these guys. Sceptile, I like more than Charizard and Typhlosion. Sceptile is so cool. Super cool design. I loved using a leaf blading Sceptile. I always felt super cool. Solid Mega Evolution. Probably out of all the starters, he might be my least favorite, which I feel bad because I think all of the starters have cool Mega Evolutions. But the Christmas tree, well, I take that back. I think I like it more than Blaziken. Second least favorite, because I really like the Kantos. The Kanto starter Mega Evolutions. But I love Sceptile. Sceptile is great. I enjoy using him. Up next is the Flamin' Chicken himself, Blaziken. I really like Blaziken. Blaziken is one of my favorites. He's not quite elite because I think I'm leaving that for maybe 2 or 3 Pokemon, but I think he gets to be the leader of the dogs. I really like Blaziken. Blaziken is so cool. I remember early on playing Pokemon Emerald, I had a team of just him and a Swellow, and it was weirdly enough one of my favorite teams I've ever done. Just because I just got to go through the game, blaze kicking sky uppercutting fools with his kicking chicken, if you know what I mean. Blaziken's really cool. The fact that his Mega Evolution gets speed boost is absolutely broken. Super fun to use, I think, in a Hoenn playthrough if you're doing Ruby Sapphire or Emerald or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I enjoy Blaziken a lot. I think he has a really dope design. Up next is my favorite of the Hoenn starters, Swampert. Swampert is actually, he's elite. I love Swampert. Swampert is so cool. For a good little bit, he probably was my favorite starter, but then Blastoise kind of took over. But Swampert is so much fun to use. That water ground typing is so elite. Just the fact that you get Earthquake on him, you get Hammer Arm with him. I love his Mega Evolution so much. The fact that he gets all big and buff. I know some people were kind of put off by it. I love it. I love the fact that he gets all meaty, he's big, he's ready to fight. Oh, he's just so good. I love Swampert so much. He's so much fun to use. I also think Hoenn Final Evolutions, I personally like them more than the Kanto. I think it's very debatable on who has the better, objectively speaking. In my personal preference, I'm taking the Hoenn Final Evolutions over the Kanto boys. But that's just me. But I think Hoenn Final Evolutions, super good. Love them. Up next, Torterra. He's also elite for me. Nostalgia reasons probably, but he might have my favorite design of all starter Pokemon. I think his design is incredible. I loved using Earthquake on Torterra. I would run like a Leech Seed Earthquake Synthesis type of Torterra. Sure, he was slow, and sure, one singular ice attack just absolutely destroyed him. But that's okay, because in my opinion, he's just so cool. I love using him. He's bulky, too. I love tanking hits and then dishing them back. Like, he packs a strong Earthquake. That is a meaty hit to take, and that's tough for anyone to take. Plus, he can learn Leaf Storm. I mean, he's really cool. Plus, I feel like he's just something about the aesthetic of Torterra using a Frenzy Plant just goes so well in my mind. I think he's just like Blastoise using Hydro Cannon. I think Torterra using Frenzy Plant I love him. I love Torterra. He's amazing. Infernape, he's a dog for me. He's a little bit above a Blaziken just because, well, I'm a monkey enthusiast. I love monkeys. I'm pretty sure he's based off of Goku from Dragon Ball. That already pushes him up a little bit more in my mind. Plus, he's faster than Blaziken. I think he has a super dope move in Mach Punch, which he learns as a Monferno, but I love keeping it with Infernape. Plus, he gets close combat. He's just Flare Blitz. Oh, he's so much fun to use. He's really good too because he's a mixed attacker. Whether you want to go special or physical, you could do both with him. Even if you have a neutral nature, you could do both. You could pack a Flamethrower and a Flare Blitz. It's just sky's the limit with this man. Firefighting, great combination. I kind of get why they did it 3 times in a row, but I'm also upset that they did it 3 times in a row. But for these two, for Blaziken and Infernape, it was worth it. I think they're amazing. Love them. Empoleon, he's a big fella. I like Empoleon a lot. Empoleon's really cool. I think he has a really clean, slick design. I don't know, there's not really much to say because I don't really use Empoleon that often. But actually, I mean, the fact that he gets Ice Beam is super cool. He packs a strong Surf. The fact that he's a Steel type though is what I think is so cool about him. And to be honest, man, I really do like him more than I like Charizard. And I like him more than I like Typhlosion. So, I think I might push those down to big fellas and put them up in that dog material because Empoleon for me is a tier above those two. Empoleon's great. I love Empoleon. Again, I don't use him as often as the other two because I like the other two more. But I take that back. You're going down to the big fella material because you're not on the same tier as Infernape in my mind. But I think he's the leader of the big fellas. I really like Empoleon. At least currently the leader. He's super dope. I love Empoleon. Sinnoh, I think they also pack a super strong final evolution amongst the 3, if you're looking objectively speaking amongst all regions. I think they're really good. I don't think they're the best. I think the best is reserved for Hoenn and or Kanto, but the Sinnoh region might be my 2nd or 3rd favorite because I really like them. I think they're all great. Up next, Unova. We're starting off with a big fella. And I feel bad because I'm about to... Sorry, Meganium. I'm demoting you because I think Superior is a tier above Meganium, but doesn't get in that dog material. But I like Superior. Superior is cool. I definitely like Superior. No offense, Meganium. Definitely like Superior a lot more than I like Meganium. I love it. It's just a grass snake. If you have a contrary Superior, whew, it packs such a strong Leaf Storm, and you get the plus, 1 or 2 bonus? That is amazing. Plus, great moveset. It's a Leaf Blade, which is super dope. It's fast. It's not much I can say about it. I like the design, and I think it's really fun to use in playthrough. Up next is Emboar. Emboar for me is fine. I don't really like Emboar that much, but I don't really hate it either. I don't dislike Emboar. So, Emboar is like one of those where I think he's mood-oriented for me. Sometimes I really like him, sometimes I really don't. And right now, he's just mad in my mind. This guy, though, this guy's a dog. I love Samurott. Samurott is cool. Again, he was one of those guys that I initially didn't really like all that much growing up. I was kind of put off by the design because I was like, oh, he doesn't turn like a cool samurai like Duat was. It's okay. But then I grew up, and I used him again, and I realized, oh, man, I actually really like this guy. I like his moveset. He gets Revenge, Razor Shell, Scald. Oh, if you could put Scald on him, he's so good. He packs a strong Surf. He's a little bulkier than you'd think he would be. Plus he learns Ice Beam, good coverage moves. I wish he actually had the Fighting type, secondary typing. If he came with a fighting type instead of Emboar, if Emboar is just pure fire, if Samurott was a fighting type, I'd really like that a lot more. I think he could use it, and I think he'd be really good with it. but I still love Samurott. Clean, slick design, definitely my favorite of the 3 Unova guys. But yeah, Unova Final Evolutions. I feel like they're a bit rushed, which I think the whole story was that they were originally going to go with the 3 the grass, water, fire monkeys, but then they're like, oh, we should probably not do that and go with something else. And I think, even in a hurry, I still think they made some pretty solidly designed Pokemon. Out of the 5 regions that I've covered, I'd probably rank them 4? Probably rank them 4. I think I like them more collectively than the Johto region, and that could just be for the fact that I played Black and White and Black and White 2 a lot more than I played Heart Gold and Silver. So it could just be that feeling and recency bias, in my opinion. But I think they're pretty strong. I like the Unova guys. Up next is Kalos, and we're starting off with It's Fine and Chestnut. Chestnut was the first one I used in a X and Y playthrough. He was alright. Spiky Shield was kind of cool, but I thought the design at first, like as a 13-year-old, I thought was a lot cooler, and then, I don't know, he just doesn't really do it that much for me. He's fine. Like, he's not that bad, but he's fine. There's not really much I have to say about him. He's okay. Delphox is also fine. I don't really care much for Delphox, but I also don't really dislike it either. It's completely okay in my mind. Initially it would have been in the I'm sorry, but if you asked me like 4 years ago, but it's kind of grown on me, but not really. Like, I'd never see it getting up into past It's Fine for me. Like, I just don't mind it. That's all I can say. There's really not much to it. Psychic typing is actually kind of cool. I kind of like the fact that it's a psychic type. But this guy, absolute dog. Greninja is a dog. I love Greninja. Greninja goes all right here, actually. Sorry, Greninja. I do like Septom Venusaur more. But Greninja's a dog. Greninja's so cool. That dark typing with Greninja is super cool. I love the water shuriken moves. Even though I never really watched it, I know of Ash Greninja. Kinda sick, not gonna lie. You get to use him in Smash. Like, he's really cool design. Greninja's great. Protean Greninja. That dude is so cool. Greninja's great. I like Greninja. Kalos region, hard carried by Greninja in my opinion. Hard carried. If they did not have Greninja, it would be one of the worst. Probably still is, at least out of the first 6, the worst in my opinion for starter Final Evolutions. But Greninja carries. I like Greninja. Up next, the Alola region. We're starting with Eevee. I love Decidueye. Decidueye is one of my favorite designs. He's just such a cool starter Pokemon. I love owls are such a cool animal. I think Decidueye is a great representation. My man Robin Hoot Beanie. He's amazing. It's just clean, slick design. Ghost in grass. I love the typing on Decidueye. He's amazing. I love him. Up next is Incineroar. Incineroar is a big fella. I like Incineroar. Little Mr. Nacho Libre himself. Honestly, probably leads the pack of the big fellas. He was the one I used in my first playthrough Sun and Moon. I enjoyed using him. Mr. Nacho Libre, he was great. I'm also like a massive wrestling fan, so I'm actually shocked that he's only top of the big fellas and not higher. But I like the dogs better. Like, he kind of does have that dog mentality, but not quite to that level of the guys above him, you know what I'm saying? He's a big fella, though. He's fun to use in Smash, too, except I always end up losing a stock because I do his up B and right off the edge. It happens, but Incineroar, great Pokemon. Heard he's really annoying and competitive, but I'm not like the biggest competitive player. I do enjoy watching competitive, though. But Fire Dark typing, love it. Pretty cool. Primarina is a big fella. I know I have been absolutely just crapping on the Popplio line, but I like Primarina. Primarina, although Popplio and especially Brio aren't really the greatest in my opinion, I like Primarina. Primarina is honestly probably right here for me. Yeah, that feels right. Primarina's great. I love the fairy typing to go with the water type. I think it's really solid. I've only ever used it once, but in a Ultra Sun playthrough, but I enjoyed using it. I thought it was a really solid Pokemon and pretty decent design. I don't mind Primarina. Primarina's good Pokemon. It's a good Pokemon. The Alola region final evolutions I actually think are pretty strong. I like them more than Unova, Kalos. I think it's right behind Sinnoh. I actually like them more than Johto too. I think it's right behind Sinnoh at number 4 for me. Yeah, objectively speaking, I really don't know. I feel like it's going to be middle of the pack. But in my own personal preference, out of like, if you're tier listing just the 3 starter Pokemon of each region, I think it falls at 4 for me. Galar region, I mean, come on. He's a grass monkey, Rillaboom, he's a gorilla. Like, I love him. He's amazing. I don't even know if I remember what his signature move is. I think drum beat or whatever. He plays the drums. He's like Donkey Kong. He's great. I love him. There's not really much for me to say besides the fact that he's a big gorilla. He's a funky monkey. He's great. I love him. He's fantastic. Good design too. He's jamming out all the time. I love Rillaboom. Rillaboom is fantastic. Cinderace is fine. I'm not the biggest Cinderace fan. Which is kind of crazy because I grew up playing soccer. Love soccer. Love me some football. But Cinderace just didn't really do it for me. I don't know. I like the Raboot design. I wasn't really the biggest fan of the Cinderace design. It just didn't do it for me. Pyro Ball's a cool move, I will say. But Cinderace just didn't quite do it for me. Gigantamax Cinderace is meh. It's not as cool as Gigantamax Rillaboom, who plays his massive drums. Cinderace just meh. This guy, I'm sorry, but I just don't like Inteleon. Inteleon does not do it for me. Inteleon is just, nope. That whole line doesn't do it for me. Inteleon is probably my least favorite of all starter Pokemon. For being real, I'm not a big Inteleon fan. Galar region, in my mind, I love Rillaboom, so Rillaboom carries for me, but I feel like most people aren't the biggest fan of the Galar region starter Pokemon, and I could very easily see them being the least favorite amongst fans. For me, I still probably like them more than the Kalos region. If I'm being honest, I think I might move these 2 down to You Tried, because I kind of think that these guys are a tier above, but Galar region's fine. It's not, well, one of them in my opinion is offensive, but it's just, they're bland. Except for Rillaboom. Rillaboom's that's a dog. That is a dog, but they're just kind of bland in my opinion. They just didn't do it for me. Whereas Legends Arceus, the Hisuian region, I think we are fantastic. Fighting type Decidueye is cool. Not as much as Ghost type in my opinion. I love the Ghost type a lot more than I like the Fighting type. Maybe it's because I haven't used the Fighting type as much. I started a playthrough and just evolved it into a Fighting type Decidueye, but never really used him that often, so it could also just be I just haven't used him enough, which is fair. But he's a big fellow for me. I like him. He's cool. Cool design. He's solid. And I don't really have much to say about Hisui's Decidueye besides I just like him. He's pretty cool. Typhlosion though. Ghost type Typhlosion is a dog. I love Ghost type Typhlosion. Ghost type Typhlosion is great. He's super fun for me to use. Love the design. Purple Flame is just so cool. In fact, he's a Ghost type is really cool. I enjoyed using him, but not as much as I enjoyed using Hisui and Samurai. This is one of my favorite. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, one of my favorite starter Pokemon. 4th favorite, definitely. I think I'm actually gonna move toward Terra above. So yeah, that feels right to me. But Hisui and Samurai, I love them so much. Super cool design. I love the dark typing. Ceaseless Edge is such a cool signature move. Plus, what does it drop? Spikes, I think. I I think that's what it does, which, it's just amazing. He was the one I used in my first playthrough of Legends Arceus. He's easily my favorite of the Legends Arceus starters. I love him. Fantastic final evolution. The Hisuian region dudes, they're great. Love them. Legends Arceus is such a great game. Hisuian region, I think, because you can only really rank them off of final evolution, I think they're really strong. If I use Hisuian Decidueye more, he could probably move up, but I think he's a super strong region for final evolution starter Pokemon. Up next is a Paldea region. Meowscarada, fantastic Pokemon. I'm putting it probably right here. I haven't used enough of Meowscarada for me to really rank it above, because I still haven't really played much, if anything, more of my second playthrough of Pokemon Violet, but from the little bit I've used of a Meowscarada, I've enjoyed it. The design was a little off-putting to me at first, but I kind of got used to it. I accepted it for what it was, but in terms of using that thing, it is a really fun Pokemon to use. What is it? Base 123 speed. One of the faster starter Pokemon. It has the move Flower Trick, which is 70 damage. Critical hit, never misses. Absolutely broken. Love the typing of Grass and Dark. I feel like, even though it just came out, I do kind of feel like it's pretty underrated in terms of starter Pokemon. It is an absolute powerhouse. Plus, you give it like the Grass Terra, that Flower Trick is absolutely decimating foes. Or you could just, change it to whatever type you want. But Meowscarada is really strong. And I really slept on it until I started using it. So, I like Meowscarada. I think it's super fun to play with. Well, I need to rephrase that. That sounded really bad. I think it's... To use in a video game, I think it is very fun to use. It's... Again, the design still kind of off-puts me a little bit, but it's one of my favorite starter Pokemon that I've gotten to use in a video game. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Skeledirge, though, is a go. He's easily. Skeledirge is amazing. I love Skeledirge. I think he has one of the best designs of all starter Pokemon. Fire Ghost, again, I think is a super cool typing. He absolutely carries in a Scarlet Violet playthrough. Man, is he carry. Is he good against like 6 gym leaders? And he's really good against the Elite Four, and he could absolutely just sweep the champion with him too. Skeledirge is so cool. Plus he has a little bird dude that sits on his little snout. Plus he's like Vector from Sonic. This man's a singer. He's Team Chaotic's lead singer. Oh, he's amazing. I love his whole gimmick. I love his whole design. I love using him. He's amazing as a Pokemon to use at a Scarlet Violet playthrough. He's so much fun to use. Honestly, kind of broken. He makes the game really easy in my opinion. But I don't mind that because he's so much fun to use and he's just such an amazing design. Just Fuecoco, amazing starter Pokemon. Amazing little base evolution. Skeledirge, final product, amazing. I love him. He's fantastic. And then Quaquaval. I've never used Quaquaval, but he's a big fella for me. I can get behind Quaquaval. I'm only putting him at the bottom of the big fella tier list because I'm only doing it based off of design and how much I think I'd like to use him. I really do think a water fighting type actually sounds like a really fun Pokemon to use in a playthrough. Quaquaval's design is not that bad. I kind of like him. Like, at first, I was a little put off by it, but then he really grew on me. I love his gimmick. I love everything about Quaquaval. He's great. I think he, again, just like Quaxley and just like Quaxwell, I think Quaquaval could be put in that dog material if I actually did a playthrough with it. Because every design I think is pretty solid, and I think he'd actually be pretty fun to use in a playthrough. So that's all I gotta say in terms of Quaquaval. But Paldea region, I think their starter Pokemon were really good, especially compared to the Galar region. I think I really do like Alola, but I think I could see people liking the Paldean region starters more than Gen 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I honestly wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I'm not against anyone's opinions, if I'm being honest. Sure, I might feel differently in my own personal preference, but if you feel a certain way, that's cool. I don't mind that. I really like them. I think the Paldea region ranks right behind Alola. Well, I don't know, actually. I think I'd put them ahead of Alola. Actually, for now, I'm going to put them behind because I've never used Quaquaval. Once I do a playthrough of Quaquaval, they're probably going to go ahead of Alola and probably be my 4th favorite of all the starters. Because my favorite's probably the Hoenn region, then the Kanto, then the Sinnoh, then Alola, which I think will be changed to Paldea here pretty soon. But I love the Paldean starters. I think they're fantastic. Again, I think this is a pretty solid little tier list here. I don't really have much changes I'd like to make. I do feel bad for the entire Inteleon line. I absolutely crapped on this every tier list, and to be honest, I still think it's a little deserved. I'm not an Inteleon lover. Kind of an Inteleon hater. Just did not work. But the elite dudes, those are my favorite starters. It's like, if you're to rank them, that's how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are my top 6. Love them. Absolutely love these guys. They are so much fun to use in a playthrough. Turns out I'm a really big water guy. Did not realize that. Grass, also like grass. Not the biggest fire type guy as I thought I would be. I'm a lot lower on fire types than I realized I was. I'm definitely more water grass. But, I mean, it's just how I like it, you know? But with that being said, if you ended up enjoying today's tier list video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, tell me down below in the comments. Is this a terrible tier list? Did I absolutely dunk on your favorite starter Pokemon without realizing it? And am I completely wrong? Can you sway me onto your side? Maybe. Probably not. I mean, this is just how I feel about him. So, but with that being said, I hope everybody just has a fantastic, phenomenal day. I hope you achieve whatever it is you are wanting to achieve. I hope you are relaxing and just chilling if that's what you're doing. I want you to have a fantastic, phenomenal day. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.